Why doesn't anyone die of spontaneous combustion anymore? Few people fall asleep near burning candles or oil lamps anymore. Back in the 19th century and before, doctors used to believe that being drunk made you more flammable, all that alcohol in your system, you know. In reality, it was just the unfortunate results of being drunk when surrounded by candles, lamps, fireplaces, and other open flames. Spontaneous combustion, quicksand, and the Bermuda Triangle were the major cause of death from the 70s through the 90s. Thank God we live in safer times. Yerk, not a hoax, just a wild misunderstanding. If someone drops a cigarette on themselves and they are too drunk, disabled, already dying of the heart attack that made them drop the cigarette to get up and do something about it, you can sometimes get a smoldering, slow-burning fire that consumes their body and their chair without spreading much. It requires very specific circumstances, but it does happen. It's so uncommon and so unsettling that people jumped to conclusions. People drink more water now. In a similar way, I was convinced I would die from getting trapped in quicksand. So many people on TV and in movies were going to die from it. Has anyone actually died from being trapped in quicksand? People stopped smoking. I think the leading cause was people falling asleep and dying and catching fire that didn't cause conflagration, but more of a human candle sort of fire. Those who were found often had medical issues, mobility issues, and lived alone, so the couple days it took to burn was enough to hide them. Otherwise, it was caused by a weird ice sky plot of summoning different people to other worlds to fight the Demon King, and eventually one of them won. That was kind of an urban myth from the 90s, 2000s. People never died of spontaneous human combustion. It was just regular fires, usually caused by people falling asleep while smoking. Yep, fake. Just like now that everybody has phones, nobody catches snapshots of Bigfoot anymore. Mythbusters had an episode about this year. Less people smoke now, especially in their own homes. The spontaneous combustion ordeal was just people falling asleep in their lazy boys with a lit cigarette. Because it was never a thing to begin with. My God, that made me afraid to go to sleep when I was a kid, lol. As a child, I honestly thought that this was going to be more of a problem in my adult life. That and shark and crocodile attacks, figured I was going to have to be super careful about these three things. It is out of fashion, so it doesn't happen anymore. Pretty much every example of spontaneous combustion have been debunked as people dying near fire sources and then being basically cooked to ash by the candle effect from a stray ember. The rise of modern heating systems also make it less common for people to have a consistently burning open flame in their homes for warmth, making the above scenario less likely overall. It's from holding in farts. Renowned geologist Randy Marsh discovered the cause of spontaneous combustion years ago. I saw a documentary on it. Often what is referred to as spontaneous human combustion is known as the wick effect. A person's clothes catch on fire, usually by a cigarette, and the fire melts the body fat, which is wicked up by the clothing like a candle. This can burn up a body almost completely with little fire damage to the surroundings. Great scene in Dickens' Bleak House where one of the characters combusts spontaneously. He kind of slow cooks to death. We've collectively dampened ourselves in quicksand while escaping killer bees. Because nobody ever died of it at all. Not surprisingly, the incidence of reported cases of spontaneous combustion halted abruptly around the time cigarette makers started using fire retardant materials. Not sure if it was ever confirmed or just a theory, but highly flammable furniture plus passing out drunk with a lit cigarette was at least suspected in some cases. Changes in materials used in furniture plus fewer people smoking these days could account for it then. Also just a general improvement in forensic techniques to be able to determine a cause so spontaneous combustion doesn't get floated as a possible cause.